Well, records are also being set in Hungary, where some 3,000 people are expected to cross the border daily in the coming months. And like other places across Europe, the influx of foreigners is drawing out some ugly sentiment. Uri Shapira reports.
In the midst of the new migrant crisis in Europe, one country is especially in the spotlight. Hungary, which became the entry point this week for thousands of refugees fleeing their war-torn countries for a better life in Western Europe. And now the East European country is facing new challenges and conflicts which stir up old fears, some of which Hungarians would prefer to forget. A brief look at the history of Hungary may indicate the roots of racism in the country. During World War II, the country led by dictator Miklos Horthy was an ally of Nazi Germany, but only when the fascist Aero Cross Party came to power in 1944 were hundreds of thousands of Hungarian Jews and Gypsies sent to the Nazi death camps. The country was liberated by the Red Army and after the war remained in the Soviet bloc until 1989, when it became a democracy. Post-communist era seemed promising for Hungary, but old habits die hard. In the 2014 elections, the far-right party Jobbik gained 24 seats and became the fourth largest party in the Hungarian parliament. The party that describes itself as a conservative, patriotic Christian party with radical ideology has a goal for itself: creating a Hungary for Hungarians only.
What Jobbik does today can be what the government does tomorrow. And in the overall immigration debate, especially regarding the rhetorics that the government uses, I think Jobbik really served as a model.
This interpretation may sound a bit radical, but last week showed that Hungary may implement some Jobbik ideas. After the security fence failed to prevent hundreds of migrants from storming the country, authorities considered deploying the army across the border. Jobbik leaders, unsurprisingly, welcomed the initiative.
We think it is very important to deploy the army, because according to Jobbik, the solution is not the registration, but turning the migrants back.
Along with the new wave of migrants, Hungary is grappling with a long dispute with another minority group, the Roma people or Gypsies, who number at least 3% of the population. Although the community has lived in Hungary for centuries, it still finds it hard to integrate, and many of its people live in poverty.
If you're poor, you no longer have the right to live in Hungary. The state pretends everything's just fine, and yet some provinces in the east or the south are much worse off than the rest of the country.
Many of the new migrants see Hungary as merely a first stop on the road to wealthier countries such as Germany and France. But as pressure increases on Hungary to keep them out, the gate of the new world may, for some, look very old.